Hi, and welcome to the short Control M video on Check Config utility. This utility is used to optimize your Control M environment. My name is Zev Gross, and I'm the Principal Technical Support Analyst at BMC Software. The agenda will cover why we need this utility usage, and the summary. The objective of the Check Config utility is to ensure that your Control M Enterprise Manager and your Control M servers are properly configured with the correct tuning parameters based on the specified size and the needs of your environment. This utility helps optimize performance, stability, and efficiency within your systems. The Check Config utility uses best practices KAs 382207 and 2208 to verify the best practices recommended tuning parameters against your environment's configured system parameters. The utility will go over the entire list of parameters documented in these KAs. If any of the parameter values are not within the recommended range, then one can use this utility to automatically update the configuration system parameters in your environment to the recommended values. The KA scales the tuning parameters into three sizes: small, medium, and large. The utility can automatically assess whether your environment is classified as small, medium, or large by analyzing scaling attributes derived from the data stored in the database. The scaling attributes are number of jobs in the active domain, number of daily executions, and number of concurrent users for EM. The utility should be executed first to check the configuration values and determine which ones are not within the recommended range. After reviewing the results, run the utility again with the option fix the configuration to their recommended values. Now let's go over the options of this utility. First, running the utility with -H or help option shows you the usage. Next, we'll review the first option, -A, or actions. Action check, which is also the default if the -action is not specified, will run a check comparing your current system settings against the recommended best practices values as documented in the KA. Action fix will update the current configuration values to reflect the recommended best practices values if they are outside the recommended range. An action revert will restore the configuration values to the last settings that were made with the -action fix. The next option is -S or size. If you don't specify a size, the utility will automatically determine your environment size using historical data. It retrieves the maximum number of active jobs, maximum number of executions, and for EM, the maximum concurrent users. Then cross-references these values with the KA to classify your environment as small, medium, or large. Since Control M Server does not store historical data like EM, it's recommended to run a peak usage report for the last 365 days to retrieve the maximum active and maximum execution counts. Once you identified these counts from the report and compare them to the KA, you can now manually run the utility with -S option for Control M Server and specify the appropriate size. Option -P or product allows you to specify which product to check for in your environment if you have a full install or both EM and server are installed. If you don't specify this option, then utility will automatically determine the product. The next option is the -ST or status. Not specifying this option using the default value of false will report only on failed parameters. Specifying all will report on all the parameters listed in the KA, and specifying true will list only the parameters that are correctly configured. The report is always generated when using action fix or check with the contents as specified by the -ST or status option. The report is written in the check config folder with the file name as shown here. Now let's go over the format of this report. The report is generated in JSON format. The first part of the report is the header that contains information about your environment. The product, scalability automatically calculated, and the determined environment size. The header is followed by the parameter results. Each item in the KA will have the item's name in the check_name tag, followed by the status of this category. False if any parameter value do not meet best practices, and true if they all meet the requirements of this item. What follows is an array of parameters within this category. Here's an example for reporting facility parameters. Each item in the test will show the parameter name, the value currently set, and the best practices recommended value. After the parameter list, you will see the file name where the configuration is found. And some of these items will see an overwrite file that can be used to permanently overwrite the value. The overwrite file remain unchanged after the upgrade as compared to the configuration file, which can change for each upgrade. And just to go over again, the check name, you see it says reporting facility context. The status is false, implying that category tests failed. And next, you will see the past section followed by the failed section. In the past section, the minimum memory, which was determined to be 256, and the recommended minimum is also 256, therefore it passed. In the failed check, the parameter max memory, which determined is 512, but the KA or best practices recommended 1024. Therefore, the message indicates the parameter max memory is too low. The adjustment is done in a override file, boot properties, user override.yaml, as this file remains constant all through the upgrade in different releases, while the initial file where the parameter is stored, reporting facility.yaml, can get overwritten during an upgrade. In summary, check config utility should be executed after an upgrade or after a change in job count to ensure that your environment is properly configured with the correct tuning parameters based on your specific size and the needs of your environment. This utility helps optimize for performance, stability, and efficiency. This concludes our presentation on the check config utility. Thank you for watching. Would greatly appreciate any feedback you have on this video.